Hello and welcome back. This time we're going to try to assemble the finishing touches on our particular drawing, the channel plate. This is 5.3, so let's get started. Here's some of the things I've done while you were away. Uh, I've had, I've created a circle layer, and that way I could get some of these circles onto a different layer so I can turn them off. I'm trying to reduce clutter now because one thing about wireframes is they get difficult to see. The more pieces, the more complicated things are. So let's do a little cleanup here. Here's that whisker stubble. We'll get rid of it. I don't think I'll need it. It'll be sad if I do need it though. But again, I'm trying to clean up the area. It looks good. What we want to do is examine our drawing again. Good drafting requires you to step back and forth and really try to understand the object that you're drawing. So it looks like the next step is that we take this 2.5 wall of this object. It has to go all the way around, and it also has a base. So the base is a good place to start, I think. Let's give it a try. Okay, so for temporarily, I'll turn off the bounding box, which has my overall heights. I probably don't need it anymore, but it's nice to have. So we'll make sure that our object line is on, and let's go for it. So I'm going to connect what's easy to connect. Okay. Yeah, we need to create a line. So this is how I think I'll approach this. I'm going to try and use the tool. Let's see if ortho will help. No. I'm going to try and use the line itself. And I think this causes a foreshortening, but I'm not too sure. Let's see. 0.25. Okay, so I do have a point. And the nice thing about the object snaps and having things on is I can actually kind of use geometry to get that. So I'm going to look at this, and it looks like I have a double line in there somewhere. So when we come back to clean this up, we'll let that be. So let's keep going. There's an inner line here that needs to happen, but depending on our views. So we're going to start just adding another layer to this. So maybe this is a good chance to move forward and try the orbit so that I can work on the pieces that I can't really see in that view. Okay, so you have to kind of move things around. So again, I got confused because it gets confusing, so we go back home. So let's just do what we can do to complete this object. There's one, we can get this back line. Okay, and now we want to create another line. So 0.25, and that gives me a point. And now I can I like to use this tool called parallel. Doesn't look like it's going to operate. There, parallel. So then I did make this successfully. So let's try and get rid of extra pieces. Do I need that? I don't think I need this back wall anymore. Got to be careful though, because some of these things would come in handy. So let's get rid of that. Back wall, okay, I think we'll live without it. Okay, I see a double line in here. Whenever you see a line that's bold and double, somehow I do know what that is. Was that extra line that I put in there to give myself a measurement. So we'll get rid of that, get it nice and clean. Okay. Now we need the inside wall. Okay, so that does present a little problem. Let's do one more. I'm gonna have to make another line in here. We'll come down, 0.25. Get that parallel. Make sure reinvigorate it by tapping on it. Get rid of the extra. Okay, so we're doing good there. By all measures, we can start looking at different aspects. And this is where this more controlled way of doing things, if you use the orbit ball, you can get out of alignment. But let's keep trimming. We see things we don't need. Okay, and we keep moving around. Okay, you guessed it. There's one part that they do need, and this one's going to be interesting. So let's see. We're going to attempt to go straight up, 0.25, and let's make another one. So we left. We're just going to have to trust this one because it's going to run into the other line. But we'll trust that that didn't work. Undo. Okay, here we go. Boom. Point. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to engage the ortho. And when I know what I'll get. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, 0.25. Okay, now I will attempt. Might have to do a little bit of a jog. So this is where you would bring in your orbit just to get a little bit more of an angle so that these protrude out. Okay, that's really getting technical, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to draw a line from there to there. That doesn't look correct, does it? So let's try another one. From there to there. Okay, so I had talked about earlier that this foreshortening took place, and lo and behold, it did. And so this is not an accurate measurement, which would require an auxiliary view, right? Because I'm looking at incline. So let's correct that. Let's undo a little bit here. Okay. One thing you do have that's stable, though, is your copy. If you copy onto plane, it's like, I'm going to describe it as like you're building a toy model with toothpicks. 1, 2, enter, and we're going to take it from here to here. This is going to be a more accurate line. This is how these projects, you look at a drawing and you think it's going to be relatively easy, but the more you work into it, you find out it's a lot different than you thought, imagined. Okay, looks like I hit the wrong. This time I'm just going to take a grip, move it on back to this back wall. Okay, this looks like a mistake. So let's get rid of extra. I see a couple of extra lines in there. Clean them up. Okay, trying to keep it minimal. So let's go ahead and complete the back wall. What's our time looking like? We're doing good. We got a little time to see. Let's get rid of this. This didn't work out for us. But better yet, let's move it. Let's use it. Instead of copy, let's try move. Move, enter this one, take it up a notch to the intersection. And now we can clean up that area. There, got a close shave. I think I can be safe enough to take this crossbar off. I think we did it, but we're going to take a little examination of it. Let's turn on our bounding box. Complete the circles. Okay, so we have the full set of things. We just have to do a couple of rotations, and I think we're good to go. We're not going to add dimensions to this. I will try a few just to see how it would work. We'll do a continuous orbit, and we'll spin things around. And you just have to let your eyes float over everything and to kind of determine what stop this. And I could see that I could get rid of the lower one. That's getting technical, so if you didn't want to do that, you'd be okay. So let's go to our views. Let's go to our return back home, and let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna try and pull these out and see if it hinders or helps. They look like instruction lines. I think it's helping. I think it's helping. Don't you? Okay. Now I think we're there. I think we'll take one more look. Now this is the part that kind of slows down because you have to observe what you've done, and that's looking good. That would be something I could send to a 3D printer, and I might have good success with that. I could change these back on their perspectives. Turn this off. And okay, at the risk of ruining things, let's try a dimension. I know I can get some dimensions because I'm in that orientation. That looks good. We can see that we need to get our units. We're going to try and keep it simple. We want that precision down. Let's just do 1, 0. So when we do add our dimension, and of course, time permitting, we're going to get a dim layers. And we'll put that in yellow. And we'll select this. Okay, so let's do our dim layers. It's selected, and let's go for it. Okay, so I do have a precision problem. Let's see. There might be some presets that are, yeah, something there is fighting me for this. So I'd have to look a little bit farther to get these dimensions correct. Let's see what dim style says. Anything in here that's going to help us? Text, primary units. Well, I did correct it there, but it didn't correct here. And we're going to go to 1 to show that we're in control. We're going to close. And there, much better. Let's see how it's going to take this axis. This one is not going to be able to read. So I'm kind of thinking what happened, you have to do is get into that orientation that works with the dimension. And it looks like that would involve a whole new video. So I'm going to keep my winnings. I'm going to back out of dimensions and go back here and hold on to my winnings. And if we do a dimensions, it will be its own video. Thank you very much. I hope this is as fun as a puzzle to you and not as tedious as it might look. Thank you very much.